Okay, so problem number 6, it does look like problem number 5. And what I want to claim is over here is that you're given a key here with work down. And what I'm going to do is just, walk you through it as if I were studying this material and I didn't understand it completely. So the first thing I look at is, their first step. And I say, oh, I don't know what they've done here. But looking at this over here, this is where you're starting to study. And you're starting to say, what did they do to go from what's above it to that over there? I'm going to say it looks like what they've done is subtracted this from both sides. And what would they get? They'd get this over here. So you'll look at that, and that's what they have. So I'm going to say that convincing that they did that step right. Then the next thing what they do, it looks like what they're doing. I'm going to start to erase this, go line by line. This is how people study. Is they look at this next line, they say, oh, I know what they're doing there. They're squaring both sides. Let me go through that with you. So I'm going to put that down. And what do you get? 3x plus 4. Well, let's see, 7 squared is 49. And then you can get 2 of these, 7 root x plus 5, which is 14 of them. That's, of course, the subtraction. And then plus x plus 5. All right. I want to look and see if that's written down. I do see the 3x plus 4. I see the 49 minus 14 of root x plus 5 plus x plus 5. Then I see the next line. Let's point out what I mean by that. And I want to get there. All right, so how are you going to do that? I'm going to look at this over here. And this is 49, and that's 5, which is 54. And I'm going to subtract 54 from both sides. And I'm going to subtract x from both sides. And what would you get? 2x minus 50. And again, if you subtract 54 from both sides, the 49 and the 5 disappear, and you're left off with minus 14 root x plus 5. I want to see if that's written. And I'm seeing that written as 2x minus 50. It's highlighted in red, by the way, equals minus 14. All right? And so what do you do now? There's a lot of things you could do, but I want to kind of reduce the numbers. And I'm looking at what they've done over here, and I want to get my eraser out. I'm going to highlight that line and wonder how they got there. It looks like they're dividing both sides by 2. I'll write that down for you. Divide this side by 2, divide this side by 2. What do you get? X minus 25. Again, that's going to be, if you divide by 2x, that's going to be 25. And that's going to be minus 7. All right, let's say if that's what they have written, that is in fact what they have written. Now what do? They square both sides. I know that looks awful, by the way. Well, again, you're allowed to use calculator if you're struggling. What do you get on the left side? X squared minus, let's see, 50x, because it would be minus 25x minus 25x minus 50x. And then 25 squared, which is 625. Again, if you're struggling with that, you can certainly use a calculator. Take 25 and square it. Or if you want to do longhand arithmetic, you could do 25 times 25. Whatever works for you, all right? Let's go to the right side, and what do you get there? Well, minus 7 squared is 49. And then the square root of x, the square root of root x plus 5 is just x plus 5. All right? Now, I'm not really seeing that, but I'm getting close to it. So I'm going to go to the next step. I get 49x. And then 49 times 5, that's going to be what? If I thought about 50 times 5, that's 250, but I got to take 5, so 245. Again, you're allowed to use calculator if you're struggling with that. I want to see if that's written. Oops, sorry about that. I see it. All right, I'm going to see if I get the next step. What do you do there? Again, I know it's a tough problem. There's no doubt about it. I'm going to subtract 245 from both sides. This is quadratic in form, by the way. And I'm going to subtract 49 from both sides. Whoops. You know what? I made a mistake there. I got to go back and erase it. Because I said something, or something down that little funny looking, wasn't it? So minus 245 from both sides. And minus 49x from both sides. I'm sorry about that error. Again, remember, you let these calculators be struggling, and I hope you're not struggling. You might be frustrated. I just made a mistake again. All right, that was pretty easy. 50 and 49 is 99. And let's see, 625 minus 45, I'm going to say 380. That's a big number. Let me just check that. 580, yeah, 625, yeah, that looks okay. And I can understand it. Like, I would not want to go to the quadratic form. I wouldn't want to complete squaring it either. But I'm looking at this, and I do see it. But now I'm going to factor it. All right, and this is the tough part. Oops. And you're not alone when you find this to be difficult, by the way. Everyone does. So if I were looking at 380, I probably would initially say, 10 and 38. That's what I would initially say. And then kind of looking at it, I know that's not going to give me 99. There's no way that's going to give me 99. And then I started thinking about it, and I need to make one of those numbers larger. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to break up the 38 into 2 times 19. I'm going to break this into 2 and 5. Right? And I'm starting to think about it. And I'm thinking, 2 times 2 is 4, certainly a smaller number. And 5 times 19, that's 50 and 45, which is 95. Man, that's going to work, right? 4 and 95. I'll write that down. So 4 and 95. So minus and a minus. You do get the x squared. Minus 95 minus 4 is minus 99. And minus 4 times minus 95 is 380. So I get two answers. What are the two answers? X equals 4. Or the other answer I get is x equals 95. Now I realize this was a long road there, all right? And so long that you might say, I'm not even going to think about it anymore. I'm glad I'm done. But what I want to do is I want to just see if it's correct, all right? Now, which one of those two answers do you think you'd go for to check it? I would say I would try 4 first. I'm going to put this down. I'm going to check 4. And what do you get? You get the square root of 9 plus, if you put 4 there, what do you get? You get 12 plus 4, which is 16. This is going to be 3 plus 4, and that in fact equals 7. That does work. I'm also going to put the 95 down, and let's see what happens. And there's a point to checking. You get root 100. Again, this is the 4. We're going to do the 100 now. And what do you get there? I'm sorry, not the 100. I'm sorry. I had 100 on my mind, by the way. We're checking 95. Sorry about that. You get root 100. Ooh, this is going to be a tough one. And let's see, 95 times 3 is 270. And 15, 285. 285 and 4 is 289. Again, you're allowed to use calculators if you're struggling. The square root of 100 is 10. And the square root of 289, let's see. Let's think about that, right? Get my eraser out. I'm going to say 17. Let me go through that with you. Again, you're allowed to use calculators if you're struggling with this. 7 times 7 is 49. 7 times 1 is 7. 7 plus 4 is 11. And then you get 170. What do you get there? 289. All right, so this is 17. I want to point out, this is clearly a false statement. However, if you look at the 10 and the 17, they do differ by 7. All right, they do differ by 7. But 95 is not working. There's only one answer. So I'm going to commit to it. I'm going to say x equals 4 is my only answer. All right, let's go to the key. Let's hope they didn't make a mistake with key either. Let's take a look at it. It says, you have 2 possible answers. We went through that already. They're 4 and 95. We checked it. Only x equals 4 work. We checked both of them. So again, let me repeat this. X equals 4 is the only answer. Thank you.